started watching it when I was 15, so just before I started filming for season 5, I think. Something like that, yeah. I know what happens, but I haven't watched throughout season 6. I've watched the first episode and the last episode, and then I know what happens in between. So, in terms of the inappropriate content and stuff like that, they're very good with making sure that we don't see anything that we're not supposed to see. So, like the scripts, we only get sent parts of the script. We don't get sent the whole thing because obviously it's not appropriate for our eyes to see. And yeah, so they're just, luckily none of us have had scenes where there's sort of something opinion apart from a couple, but they're very good with making sure that that part is shot separately to whatever the child is involved with the scene. So they are very good at making sure that our minds are kept pure. I think the most challenging thing with that scene was everything that Shireen has done. I could relate to something in my life, all of her scenes, except for this one, because I've never been burnt alive, so it was quite hard to relate it to something. So I guess I just kind of had to not wing it, but just, just hope and pray that I could sort of deliver a performance that kind of said that message. And I kind of played it just the emotions without any backstory, which was challenging, but I like a challenge, so it was fun. The reactions were really, really nice, and at the same time quite hilarious. I was sat watching it, so when it aired, I watched it when it came out in America, so we waited up until about 2 o'clock, I think it's 2 o'clock in the morning, when over in England, when it's aired in America. So we sat and watched it live as it came out, and as it was leading up to the scene, I started getting tweets, and they literally just said, no, over and over again, and it was the funniest thing. I was like, Mum, it's happening, look. But yeah, no, I think the response was, we expected sort of that kind of response, but not as cool as it was. I think it was really nice to see how many people enjoyed Shireen. I think the thing with Game of Thrones is that it is very known for the shock factor, and everyone says that they're not going to watch it because of something that happens, and then as soon as the next episode comes out, they're like, so. But I think that's why people watch it, because even though there is a book series, there's still that thing of they're very good at bringing the unexpected, so just expect the unexpected from Game of Thrones, which is why people love it, I guess. And I did learn to horse ride for Game of Thrones briefly, but not as much as I'm doing now. I absolutely love it. It's insane. It's one of those things where once you've got it, you can't not ride. Like before, it was kind of, oh, this is aching, this is hurting, this is sore, and then once it clicks of how to do it, you can't. I beg for a lesson. I'm like, can I have a lesson now? They're like, we've got 5 minutes, but I can have a lesson. But yeah, I think if she wasn't brutally murdered, it would have been nice to have seen maybe more scenes with the dad, because I think that journey was probably the longest time she's ever spent with her family as a whole. Probably would have been different to see how that played out. I would say it would be cool to see her on the Iron Throne, but unfortunately, if you're a sweet and innocent character in Game of Thrones, you don't last very long. Yeah. especially if you're sat on the throne. They're very similar, Shireen and Arya, except the fact that Arya is more sort of physically strong, whereas Shireen is mentally strong, and I think that any scenes between them would have been cool. Yeah, I keep in touch with the kids mainly, and then I get to see all the other actors like at places like this, like the conventions and stuff. So it's all good. I'm still in the loop. I love it. I think it's great. It's what's made me more involved, like still involved with the show, because without these, it probably would have I would have left when I finished. But for me, because of these, the show is still very, very much like involved in my life and stuff, which is really nice. I've been filming a Netflix original It's aimed at tweens, so it's about a horse who's got a lot of sort of background problems due to stuff that happened in his past, and no one really knows what's up with the horse. And then this American girl comes over, and they have like this special bond that no one really knows where it came from. And it's all about that and how that evolves, and the girl making friends with all the stable girls and stuff. And it's going to be really nice and different from what I've done before. At the moment, it's called Untitled Horse Mystery Project. It hasn't got an official name yet, no. Yeah, we're filming in Wales and other parts of the UK. It's fun. Not at the moment because I'm contracted with Netflix, and I've still got school as well, so I don't want to take on too much. But hopefully next year should have some stuff.